Guys, we are back in Python. Where are we at? List and functions, list and functions. So let's get started here. Alright, so let's see here. Please have the code to print out the second. So we want to print n, oh my god. The second index value, we want to print 3. So 0, 1, 2. And there you go. So it prints 3. Pretty simple. Alright, on line 3, multiply the second element of the n list by 5. So we're going to print n n1 times 5. Let's try that. So we're getting the right result, but it doesn't look like that's what they want us to have. Okay, so they maybe an item in the list can simplify values in the form. Alright, so I think they want us to do it like this. N of 1 equals n of 1 times 5. Is that what they want? Okay, so they just wanted us to change the value, the middle value, and not overwrite the whole n. Append the number 4 to the end of the list. And alright, so and append. Let's see if this is right. I think I'm declaring this wrong, but you're not sure. Alright, so append just means add it to the end of the list, and there we go. Remove the first item from the list n using either .pop, .remove, or .delete. If I remember correctly, pop removes, if you just call .pop, it'll remove, let's see, delete, and then remove. Alright, so if we call .pop, we're calling on the index value, and this is what I normally would use, and .pop, and we want to remove the first item, which would be 0. So there's our 3 and the 5. Good. So change the function so the given argument is multiplied by 3 in return. So we are just going to change the symbol there, and that should do it. And then it returns 15. Cool. Define a function called add function. So def add underscore function has 2 parameters, an x and a y, and it adds them together. So return x plus y, and so we should 5 and 13 get 18 returned. There we go. Write a function called, so def string underscore function that takes in a single argument s, returns that argument concatenated with the word world, don't add space before world, so return s plus world. Don't forget the quotes. So hello world, one word. Click save and submit to see that using a list as arguments function. So this is gonna just should print out 357. There it is. Alright, so change line 2 so that list function returns only the item stored in index 1 of x rather than the entire x list. So let's see. So we want index 1, which is 0, and that's all we gotta do. Oh, return 6 instead of 1. Oh, index 1. There you go. Not the first slot, but actually index 1. Alright, so change the list function so that you can add 3 to the item in the index 1 of the list. think that should do it. Store the result back to index 1. Alright, so we'll say index 1 equals index 1 plus 3, return x1. Return x. And there you go. So index 1 was 3. We added 3 to, or index 1 was 5. We added 3 to it, so there's our 8. Define a function called list extender. So def list underscore extender takes in one parameter first, and inside the function append the number 9 to the list. So first dot append 9 actually, is this how we want to do it? So we append the list first and return first. Yeah, that's right. Invalid syntax. List underscore extender first. Define a function called list extender. It has one parameter first. Oh, it's list. I thought that was first. So that's an L. Alright. There we go. So that's a LST, not a 1ST like first. Alright. Define a function called print list. So def print underscore list takes one argument x. Inside that function, print out each element one by one using existing code as a scaffold, then call the function with the argument to print out. Inside that function, print out each element one by one using the existing code as a scaffold. This kind of looks like it's already there. I think that's what they're saying. I think they just want us to do it like that. And then we want to call print underscore list on n. And it should print 3, 5, 7 on separate lines. Did you create a function called print underscore list? So there's 3, 5, 7. The body of your function should not contain any references to first, so that's x, and then x. So just go ahead and fix that, and now we're good. So you see the 3 and 5 and 7, it's not printing it as an array list like it did before. It's just printing the value. Alright, so create a function called double underscore list. Takes a single argument x, which will be a list, and multiplies each element by 2. Use the existing code as a scaffold. Alright, so again, they want us to take this, don't forget to end it properly, change the x's to n's, and I believe that's all we need to do. Did you remember to return the result? Alright, and then return. Oops. Return x. There we go. So, just wants us to double this, and we did 6, 10, 14. Good to go. So on line 6, replace the blank with a range that returns a list containing 0, 1, and 2. So line 6, print the function with a range. Alright, so if you look in the example right here, range is a built-in function that has its own parameters. So we're going to do the range of 0 up to 3. Don't forget your comma. And there you go. So we have 0 to 4. Oh, it's multiplying it by 2 right here. Okay, so that's right. So we wanted 0, 1, 2, so divide those by 2, you still get 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so create a function that returns the sum of lists and so we're creating a function that returns the sum of a list of numbers. So define a function called total. So def total takes in one parameter numbers. That's going to be a list. Inside there, create a variable called result, set that equal to 0. Using one of two methods above, iterate through the numbers list. So we'll do for I in numbers. That just seems a little bit easier. You could also iterate through that, but if we're iterating through the whole thing, we might as well just do the more simplified version. So for I in numbers, add it to the result. So result equals result plus I. Excuse me, plus numbers I. There we go. Finally, return result. Line 9. List index out of range. Line 6. So somewhere we're saying result is equal to 0. So result is equal to result plus numbers I. Return result. Yeah, I don't know. So we set result, so it's in the scope of this function. We're saying result is equal to whatever our current result is plus numbers I. To me that should make sense, but let's go ahead and pull up on the Q&A forum real quick. What are we on? We're on 15. 15 of 18. Let's see what this guy had an issue with. Result equals result plus item. Take care about spaces. So this guy did it the same when I did. Then he returned it. And then let's try doing it this way. In theory it should work the same, but we're not getting, because it's saying we're having a length issue. So I believe it should have worked the way we did it, such as this, but just because they want it this way, go ahead and do it that way. Just might work out a little bit better for you. Alright, so define a function called join strings. Def join underscore strings. Accepts an argument words. It'll be a list. Inside the function, create a variable called result. We're going to set it to an empty string. Iterate through words list and append each word to result. Return result. Alright, so we'll say for I in words. Print I. And also we want to result dot append I. Return result. Actually, I don't think we need to print I. Result dot append words I. I think that's right. No. Alright, str object has no attribute append. Result equals result plus word size. So, can't treat this as a list. Your code looks a bit off. Check the console. So line 10, line 6. Alright, so let's look at. So join strings n should return hello there. So result is equal to result plus word size. That should be correct. Let's try it like this. There we go. That's better. So I was trying to call the indices when we're actually dealing with strings. My fault. Nothing really to say about that. But all right, line 4, define a function called join list. So def join underscore list. It's going to take in a parameter x and y. Both will be lists. Inside the function, return the result of concatenating y. All right, so we're working with numbers, so all we got to do is do x plus y. Do they want us to concatenate all of it? Looks like it. So 1 plus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're just adding the lists together. That's all we're doing. Alright, so we are finally on the last one. So let's create a function called def flatten. It's going to take one argument called list. Make a new empty list called results. So we're going to set results is equal to 0. Iterate through list, call the looping variable numbers. For numbers in lists. Oops. This is an empty list, so like that. And then we'll say results dot append numbers. Finally return results. And let's see if we made any errors here. Flatten 1, 2, 3, 4. Return 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. So what did we do wrong here? So it returned 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, I get what it should turn into. So let's go ahead and go at the form real quick. I'm kind of on the same page as this guy, so results equals. Oh. Yeah, no, that's alright. I don't know why I tried that. Alright, so here we are. So, did I miss a whole loop? Huh. Alright, let's see here. So apparently we needed to iterate through 2 lists, as you can see here. So this is our double array, rather. Then we have our function, we have an empty function, then we have 4 numbers in list. We want to results. Okay, so alright, so I see what's going on here. We need to iterate because we're trying to combine them, and we have 2 arrays. We need to have 2 for loops. So iterate through this array. So the first loop is to get the array, the number of arrays. Once we're in the first array, the 1, 2, 3, iterate through that. And then once we're done with that, go to the outer for loop again. Alright, so we'll do for I and numbers. And then I think that's it. Oops. Let's see. Let's take a look again. Results that append I is what we needed. Then we have to append the inside. Unexpected indented block. And now we're good. So that's what was going on there. A little bit confusing. Not because it's necessarily hard, just because actually it does say it right here. Iterate through numbers. So that's my fault for not reading properly. Sometimes I try to rush through these things and I suffer for it. Let's take a look at what we're doing next. And it says, welcome to Battleship. So it looks like we're going to be making a classic, quote-unquote, 5x5 grid game. Should be pretty fun. Usually these are only about 5 or 6, sometimes 8. But this one's 19, so I'm excited for it. I like Python, and the indent gets a little crazy, but I can't wait to start the Py game. And if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything WordPress related, I'm always looking to make WordPress videos now. Go ahead and leave me a comment below, and I will see you guys in the next Python video. Battleship.